Hello, my name is Dr. Keisha Ashley, and I'd like to thank you for taking a few moments to sit with me today with a very good friend of mine who is a business mogul. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's doing a lot of great things in business across this world. His name is Mr. Mike Sims. Mr. Mike Sims, thank you so much for spending this time with me today.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So today we'll take a few moments to talk a little bit about personal growth and development. And I know that this is something that is very near and dear to your heart. So can you just tell everyone just a little bit about your feelings on that subject?
Personal growth and development is so important, especially for an entrepreneur. My mentors always taught me, or one of the first things they said was, Mike, if you want to make money, work your business. If you want to create wealth and really change people's lives, you got to work harder on yourself than you do on your business. So personal growth and development is everything to anyone looking to be successful in life and business, in relationship, whatever it is. Personal growth and development is so important.
As the founder and CEO of Mike Sims Worldwide, I know that you have had to grow personally. What are some of the things that you do to help you grow and maintain personal growth and development?
Well, one of the things I do on a daily basis is reading. That's something I had to get into a habit of doing before venturing into the world of entrepreneurship. I hate to say this, but I never read an entire book from cover to cover.
Wow.
I was the type of person, I would read the table of contents, I would look around through the index and the glossary and try to put in between what I thought was in the book. And in high school, I remember reading 2 books all the way through. Other than that, it was embarrassing. I never read a whole book. College, same thing. Never read a whole book from cover to cover. But my mentors said, Mike, basically, if you don't work on yourself, you'll never, ever, ever be as successful as you want to be. You have to work on yourself. You don't have to like reading. You just have to like the results. And I fell in love with the results. And because of that, every single day I read, every day, at least 15, 20 minutes a day. Of course, reading the Bible is very, very important. A lot of things we can learn from that book. And then, of course, other books that I read every day. I keep myself on a pretty good schedule as far as the things I want to read. There are books on leadership. There are books on how to be a better marketer. There are books on how to relate to people. There are books on so many different subjects. I once heard a gentleman say, if you want to hide something from some people, put it in a book. And so anything that you want to work on in life in general, you can find the answers in a book, and you can learn from other people's stories, other people's mistakes, other people's trials and tribulations. You can learn from all these things and start to apply them in your own life.
So, Mr. Sims, you mentioned the Bible and you mentioned some other personal growth and development books as well, or just some of the contents that are in those books. Can you tell us a little bit about who your mentors are, and if they've written any books, what books have they written that are really good favorites of yours?
Okay. Well, you talk about the Bible. I firmly believe that every personal growth, every book about how to become successful, all of them have roots back to the Bible. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about the importance of goal setting. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about the importance of association. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about focus. There's examples of people in the Bible who've gone through different trials and tribulations and overcome different things. There's so many things in that book or that collection of books that you can learn from. So, of course, that's a great foundational piece for anybody. And then, of course, if you start reading or look at some other books that are out there, Think and Grow Rich, very, very powerful book, talking about the mindset that you need to have when you become an entrepreneur. Very, very powerful. But think about the title itself. If you could just think and grow rich, doesn't that sound like it'd be something easy to do?
It does.
It does. Right? But it's not, it's just simply thinking. The book's talking about Think and Grow Rich, of course, the mindset that's important. And then, of course, there are other books like The Slight Edge, written by Jeff Olson. Jeff Olson is a personal mentor of mine. I learned so many different things from Jeff Olson. Jeff talked about in that book the importance of doing the simple things or practicing simple disciplines over time, which lead to the long-term results. Or you can practice the simple errors in judgment over time, which leads to your failure in any area of life. So very, very powerful book as well. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Fantastic book. And people must like you if you want to do business. They must respect you. and to be able to influence or have influence over people for the positive is so important. And that book really goes into fine detail on how to do that, how to make yourself more attractive to people, because success is not something that you can pursue. If you run after success, it'll elude you all for the rest of your life. Success is something that you have to attract. And so that book really goes and talks about how to become more attractive so people will follow you. And then, of course, anything written by John Maxwell. I mean, John Maxwell, had the privilege of meeting John. I read almost all of his books. John Maxwell, in my opinion, is the foremost author and speaker as far as leadership is concerned. And the gentleman is just phenomenal. And one of my favorite books, or foundational books on leadership, is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Very powerful book. And then, of course, The 5 Levels of Leadership. It's so many. Everything John Maxwell has written, I suggest people read it. So, you know, I keep myself on a schedule every single day. And if you want something to happen in your life, you got to schedule it to happen. And so I make sure that every single day I take out at least 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes a day to read, to make sure I keep my mind sharp. Benjamin Franklin once said, if you want to, or you must pour your purse into your mind, and then your mind will pour back into your purse. So working on myself is so important. Abraham Lincoln said, if you had a couple hours to chop down a tree, you want to spend the majority of the time sharpening your axe. And of course, if you want to be successful in business, you want to make sure your axe is sharp, and your axe is your mind.
Oh, wow. That's great information. So with all of that being said, for someone who, you know, may just be starting out and deciding, you know what, I haven't done it before, I haven't really worked on myself, I'm at a point now where I want to grow, where I want to go after something more in life, where would you suggest they start? With all of the books and all of the information that you've just provided for everyone, where would you suggest that they start? Okay.
Well, you know, it depends on what area they're looking to work on. If you want to work on pretty much anything in life, of course, you can always start off with the stories and instructions that are in the Bible. It's a good, great book. Like I said, I think it's the foundation of personal development in life in general. But let's just say business, for example. If someone's looking to get into business and understand or create a residual income for themselves, I would tell them to start off with one of my favorites, and that's written by Robert Kiyosaki. The book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When I read that book, it really messed me up mentally.
Wow.
Because I was working a regular job at the time, and a quote unquote good job. But that book just kind of brought to light that I was basically running 100 miles on a treadmill to nowhere. And that book just kind of, it made me frustrated. So I warn everybody who reads that book, you will be frustrated, especially if you don't have a plan after reading that book, because he talks about the power of business systems, and talks about the power of you know, using a business system to then become an investor, and how we're constantly trading time for money on a regular job. So I would definitely start off with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then, of course, you know, it's very important to get your mind right as well. And then you can go into Think and Grow Rich and some other books, The Magic of Thinking Big, just The Power of Positive Thinking. So many books to get your mindset right, because business is tough. If anybody tells you that being an entrepreneur is easy, they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. Being an entrepreneur is very tough. There are ups and downs constantly, but having a positive mindset will help you keep yourself, or stay mentally at an even plane. Because if your mindset is not right, if you start to have doubt yourself, as my mentor has taught me, 1 ounce of doubt and you're totally out. And so your mindset is so important as well when it comes down to being successful in business.
Okay. So we know that you love reading. You're an avid reader. What else do you do to grow personally or to grow professionally? What else do you do? Okay.
Well, to grow personally and professionally, I also think it's important to make sure that you take care of your body, take care of yourself. I work out 3-4 days a week, minimum, do the cardio, do the weights, do everything, because your first wealth is your health. I definitely try to eat right every day as well. You know, that's part of personal development. That's part of developing yourself, because that's what personal development is. It's developing the person within. And if you don't feel right every day, because how you eat can determine how you feel. Eating fruits and vegetables and things of that nature on a daily basis and taking in the proper nutrition and supplementation, you'll feel better than you do if you visit a buffet every day or a fast food restaurant every day. So that's part of personal growth and development as well. I used to love indulging in things that, that were not quite so healthy. But now, again, part of that personal growth and development process, try to make sure I eat right every single day. Another thing as part of my personal development every single day is talking to my parents. I mean, you can learn a lot from them and things that they've gone through, what I call wisdom. Because they have wisdom, the things they've gone through, and talking to people that have been successful in any area or walk of life is personal development. And one thing I'll tell you as well, as far as personal development is concerned, when I learned the power of associating with the right people, that was so important. So I try to get around every single day the right people that can help me become better in any area, whatever, no matter what it is, whether it be spiritually, whether it be physically, whether it be emotionally, whatever it is. I always try to get around the people that can help me better myself in any area, no matter what it is.
Awesome. Okay. So some people normally get a little bit confused. People who are working the regular 9-to-5 job, where companies spend millions of dollars sending them to conferences and workshops and different things like that, having, I guess, book clubs and whatever they do to actually help them grow professionally. Can you take just a few moments to address the difference, or if you see that there is a difference with personal growth and development and professional development? Is there really a difference?
Well, it is. I would say a major difference. Okay. In my opinion, professional growth and development is helping you to become better at a certain profession. For instance, if you're a teacher, you go to professional development. It teaches you how to become a better teacher. That's what they focus on in the classes and the workshops and things of that nature you attend, how to get your points across to the students, whatever it is focusing on in that area. If you're a professional salesperson, you may go to sales trainings. You may go to different trainings that focus on sales, how to get a sale, how to close a sale, things of that nature. Personal development is developing the person, the entire person. In my opinion, if you develop the entire person, everything else seems to fall in place. If you develop yourself from a health standpoint, you feel better, you look better, therefore you can do your job better. You can do or operate your business better. If you work on your mindset, things that you may look at or used to look at as major problems now are simple issues that can easily be solved by just thinking through the process, staying relaxed, staying calm. And because you've got that level of personal development, things just seem to line up for you because everyone around you is attracted to you, and you start to attract issue solvers or problem solvers. And I really don't think people have problems. I think one problem, if you got a terminal illness, that's a problem. Okay, but if most people have issues, and issues can be worked on by working on yourself first. And so if you develop the entire person, develop your mindset, your way of thinking, make sure you keep your associations tight. All these things are part of personal development, and that's just a whole lot more valuable to me than professional development. Professional development help you be a better whatever. Personal development help you be a better anything. I mean, it just encompasses everything around you. The world becomes yours, so to speak, once you develop the person.
That's great. So after you have read the books and after you have worked on eating right and working out and everything else to help develop personally, then what do you think about goal setting? How important is that?
Goal setting is everything. And that's one of the last things that I started doing that made the biggest difference. And when I say that, within my first 3 months of being an entrepreneur, I didn't write my goals down. But once things weren't working out, I said, well, let me try this goal setting thing. And I wrote my goals down. I wrote them down. They were specific. They were measurable. They were something I could attain because I didn't want to set myself up for failure. Realistic. and I had a timetable to them, and I had to put a timetable because I'm a natural procrastinator. That's one of the main things I work on every day is not procrastinating. And so goal setting helped me, not procrastinate, if that makes sense. And so I wrote my goals down, and everything just started to line up for me. I can't even explain it,
wow.
but everything just started to line up. Before writing my goals, I was just like a ship set out to sea with no destination, or like a person going on a trip, and you don't have a road map, and you're kind of wondering, you can't find where you're going. And finally, you stop to ask somebody for some direction, and they tell you you're an hour in the opposite direction. How do you feel? You feel like you just want to go home. We'll take this trip. We'll take this journey another time. That's how I was with no clear, defined goals, and that's how one of the things that derails most people is they get so far off in the wrong direction in business, life, whatever it is, because of not having goals. Then they finally sit down and analyze everything, and they find out they're so far in the wrong direction. Then they just go back to home, and that's complacency. Mm-hmm. And so goal setting is so important. It'll change your life. And of course, it'll change your future as well by making sure you got clear, defined goals.
Wow. Well, Mr. Sims, I thank you so much for the time that you have spent with me today, really just helping everyone understand the importance of setting goals and the importance of personal growth and development. I know that I've grown quite a bit from your mentorship and other mentors in the industry that I'm involved in, so I appreciate your time sharing with us today. But before I close, I wanted to know if you had one final thought that you'd like to share with everyone.
Well, I think we said it all. Bottom line is this: if you don't grow as a person, if you don't do the personal development, then you won't grow in any area of life, period. You have to work on yourself just as hard as you work on your business. You have to work on yourself just as hard as you work on anything, whatever it is. And so study yourself, study the books, and don't just skim over them like I did in high school and college. Really study them. If you read a book, the pages should be withered. There should be a lot of highlights. There should be a lot of stuff going on in the book. It should look like that book has been read many, many times over. And so I just tell everyone to work on yourself just as hard as you work on anything else, and everything else will start to fall into place for you. Your income will never exceed who you are. If it does somehow, if you have a spurt and your income does somehow exceed who you are, your income will quickly run back to meet you where you are. That's why people who win the lottery, they have millions. They were given millions, but they never become worth millions. That's why a majority of them are broke in 3 to 4 or 5 years, because they never grew to meet their income. And so whatever area of life it is, whether it be business, finance, whatever it is, make sure that you work on yourself just as hard as you work on the business.
Thanks again for sharing time with me today. I appreciate all of those nuggets, and I'm sure everyone else will as well. Congratulations on all of your success with Mike Sims Worldwide, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
It's always a privilege.
Thank
a pleasure.
you.
Thank you.